À l'extrémité est de Budapest, à Xömör, en bordure de champs et de forêts, se situe un lieu inhabituel créé par une femme formidable. Nous sommes à la Fondation pour l'égalité des chances, le premier des 15 établissements d'accompagnement des adultes handicapés créés par Erzsébet Szekeres. Après la naissance de son fils Tibor, lourdement handicapé, Erzsébet a pris son courage à deux mains, en compagnie de quelques amis, pour créer la première structure privée de soins et d'accompagnement d'adultes handicapés. Elle a construit, pierre après pierre, de façon très pragmatique et à moindre coût, un réseau exemplaire de 15 établissements de vie à travers toute la Hongrie. Cette femme courageuse et inspirante nous reçoit pour une interview insolite et nous raconte son histoire et ses réalisations grâce à l'interprétariat de sa responsable de l'accueil de jour, Katalin.
We are here at Chaque. It's very near to Budapest. I was grown up here at this village, and I was living here during all my life. Not all the days, but almost. This is a center where the person with disabilities can get different services. I'm a mother. I didn't shame it that I started as a profession manager. A lot of people hurt me that I don't have any extra skill for this job. I don't have any profession for this job, and it's very important here in Hungary. So I'm a ceramist. So until my son was born, I didn't know anything about the person with disabilities. Before Tibor, I had a child, and he was born after his birth, after 5 days his birth. And when Tibor was born, everybody said, okay, he's very healthy, everything is okay, but I was crying for weeks because I said it's something wrong, wrong. After 2 years, and I went every kind of doctors with him, and they said, okay, everything is fine, no problem. So when I was hearing the radio at this time, I was hearing about that if the child can start walking or his legs form is different ways, that it can be a problem, but the doctor has to realize it. Until this time, I have argued a lot of time with this doctor. And he said, okay, I have 5 children and I have a doctor since 30 years, and why don't you believe me that there is no problem with this? So Tibor was born in 1976, so it was in 1978. And doc also said, okay, just take to another doctor to examine him. And he said, okay, it's a huge problem. So you have to bring her a child neurologist. So she go there directly, and the neurologist said there is a really huge problem, and this guy won't speak anytime, and never can go alone to toilet, and they can't eat alone and walk alone, never. That was really big trauma. She couldn't sleep for a week because I was thinking, oh, it was just a mistake. They just changed me and for another person, and it was really, really bad. But in the morning, that she knows that it's true. This doctor said that his son will live till 5 years. But when he had the 6th birthday, I was thinking, oh, I'm so crazy because why I believe this doctor? They can also make mistakes. So I was thinking, what can I do? I'm look around Hungary. What can we do? I see as a mother that was awful, these institutions that we had here. And they live there on this. From October till spring, they can move anywhere. They just in this room. Summertime they can go on the balcony. Those institutes for children, it's a little bit better than those institutes for adults. So that's why I was decided I have to do an institute for persons with disability who are adults. Yeah, this was a field. And she was thinking about it, that would be great for a center, this place. So there was an old organization, it's a governmental organization, and she asked the area. I wrote it, what I want, and I asked it. It was 2 weeks and they decided, okay, she can get it. It was in 1982. After we got it, so it's okay, we have to do it, we don't have to turn around or turn back. So I look around how to do it, and at first I went to Austria, but I have only a card, a name card, and I have to find this person. So it wasn't easy because at this time we didn't have internet or telephone, cell phones either. I looked for an architect, and he was working about this whole place for 5 years.
Na most az is egy fontos mozzanat volt, hogy ahogy körbenéztem Magyarországon
At this time, when I was looking for this kind of institute, there was always the same, that huge buildings, and in one building there are every kind of services.
Sokféle dolgot raktak össze, és hogy
and it was really expensive. And I was thinking that we won't get so much money to build this kind of institute. So if you go around, you will see that we have more small buildings. I was lucky because I had many friends, so they have contact to the ministerium at this time. They said, okay, so you can do this in another governmental way. We were ready. So they established 15 persons. From this 15 persons was 2 parents and 13 persons with disability. So this discipline about that we have the same rights, we have the equal chances for everything. It's not depend on that if you have some disabilities or not. So we have to respect each other. So we just do these places what they have needs, what kind of needs they have. So not it's started not we just think and do something, that they said we need something and we do it. So we have different kind of residence for persons with disabilities. It's independent what they need. So it's very important to just help them to what they need, not too much more and not too less. It's very flexible. So if someone come to us, ask that can we help, that we try to help them. So also we are different from the other institutes because they can get here in relationship, the couples together, and here can born children. So the last 28 years, 29 baby was born here. It's very important we have 2 organizations here. So we have a company, an LTD for workers, and we have the foundation who give the residence. This is the most important job, to make a powerful, strong leadership for this institution. So it's very, so I can quick if I can see that all of the people can understand how I thinking, because it's very difficult because they are learning different things, and they have different experience, and they have to understand it in the focus. They are the person with disability. So if someone came here, a family or a person, and they have a lot of problem, no, just we have to start. We have to think that how to solve the problem, because that's why I'm here. This was the most important. If someone come to here to work, that was the most important. That what kind of personality she or he has, not what they was learning or something. So it's very important in my job. I have a free thinking, and in this community there is a free thinking, and it's a good community together.
És a lakóinkban is van.
And also the person with disabilities who lives here, they have also the same free thinking.